Summer holiday to make our dreams come true for me and you.
You're listening to Books and Tunes with Chris Penhall.
My next guest, Anka B Troitsky, is an author of sci-fi novels. I first met Anka many years ago when we used to dance salsa, and then we didn't see each other for many, many years until she walked through the door of the buddy writing meetups I run with fellow author Lizzie Chantry. And for all of those years, neither of us had known that the other one was trying to write. So I'm thrilled to say that she has joined our buddy writing meetups and she has gained quite a lot of success.
Sci-fi always been my favorite genre. That's what I was reading when I was younger. That's what I wanted to write when I'm older. And being a science teacher helps a lot because I don't have to do so much research. I already know some stuff. So it helps. I prefer adventures. So my sci-fi is full of imagination and adventures. But I also have certain issues that I like to discuss, to point out, maybe welcome people to think about.
So tell us the names of the books, because you have a series, don't you?
Yes. The series is called Who is Vist? The first book is Object and Vist, which is a bit of an echo to objectivism, one of my philosophers that I like to sometimes refer to. Second one is Construct and Vist. That is my favorite in the series because it did already had to work in the setup scene, so I didn't have to worry too much about the world building. It was already there, and I just have to pack it with lots of events and characters. Constructivist is again is echo to the constructive way of learning, which is good for some subjects but not for another. And the last one, probably people figured out what it's about from the title, Propaganda. Vist and Propaganda. That is about influencing people's mind and sometimes doing a far too much of a good job turning it into something else.
When we write, we all create worlds, don't we? But the sci-fi element of it is that you are creating something sometimes totally different. So how do you go about doing that, making it different but recognizable?
To take it away from this world, you can practically have to create a new one, don't you? Because I can go for usual ways of just having a spaceship somewhere traveling in space, and that would be a planet or star on the cover with a spaceship, all this technology. And I know some people like it. It would be the military, it will be fighting aliens, etc. But I wanted things to happen for humans, just not here. Giving them a second chance to exist in a different planet, in the colony, after the Earth is gone, so that you can go completely wild there. I changed their colors. I made them purple. I made them hairy. I promoted genetic modification to the extreme so that they can survive in a harsh environment, make them furry, make them look like fairy tale creatures, elves and dwarfs and giants. And I love it. It's they're still humans. They still act like us, and they still have to make choices, but they're different. And using hard science fiction element, which means that you're getting as close as possible to the real science, is one of the probably best challenges there. How can I introduce something that doesn't exist yet, but so that it actually could and maybe would in the future?
So given that they're a series, so that people know, what is the construction of the first book? What is the setup of that?
Well, you still have some events taking place on Earth just before it disappears, just before the red giant swallows it up. And the people have a choice to travel. They choose to either put their hands in faith and just basically just drift in space and hope to survive. And there is a fraction which is opposing that idea, is the ones which is choosing to take humanity to already existing by chance, really, that there was a colonial project at some time in the past of the humanity in the Platinum Age, and they want to go to that colony. So the small group of people managed to go to that colony, and they found that humanity exists again somewhere else in a different planet. But oh my God, they are not us anymore. They're very, very different. And it's not just how they look or their physiological structure, but also the society they build in. And it's also not the one society, not just one level, but different. Depends on people's choices. Even there, some people just choose to believe rather than think and walk on what you know.
So who were your influences? You said you liked reading sci-fi and that kind of thing when you were growing up. Who particularly influenced you or maybe motivated you to actually start writing yourself?
Probably the one which is definitely stand out from all other names, it would be two brothers, Boris and Arkady Strugatsky. It is a Russian prosaics. They're all probably the most famous and well-known and loved in the former Soviet Union republics, people who still read and speak Russian in Russia, Ukrainian, and all other republics which have similar roots of culture. They have that genre, but they've taken it so much further than just writing about aliens or different creatures or things. They normally put the characters into environment when they have a message, probably message to those who will read those books in the future. And some books were so incredibly incredible in the way that they predicted what's happening right now. And as you know, we are in the middle of the war, and how these people manage to predict certain things and this is how society changes was astonishing, even though that they actually wrote it in some way in the 60s, 70s.
You're from one of the former Soviet republics, aren't you?
Yes, I'm from Kazakhstan.
Okay, and so your first language isn't English, although you've lived here for years and years and years and years and years. I've known you for a very long time. What is it like then writing in English when your first language is Russian? Is that right?
Yes. Well, I was obviously I started writing in Russian language when I was a student, but it was all kind of writing into the drawer, if you know what I mean. I never actually even thought about publishing it. The COVID changed a lot, and that's when I first time tried to write in English directly. Obviously, it was very easy for other people whose English is not exactly mother tongue. It was easier for them to read. And the rest was I put in the hands of my editor. An editor actually said that he was surprised by how much I mastered it, and I was sort of not quite sure. What if it's not good enough for English public? What if the English people will read it and say like, oh well, that's not very good? But he loved it, and he's an English speaker himself. He's Scottish man, but. The way he helped me out with changing just a few bits here and there, just occasional better choice of the word or expression or something. Sometimes he would tell me like, well, we don't say that in English like this. We say it like that. It helped me. And it's from that point, it's become easy. How do I write in the beginning? That's sometimes varies. If I'm tired, if I don't feel very good, I would write it in Russian language first, and then I will translate it myself into English. And sometimes if I'm on the mood, I actually prefer to go straight into English, and I write it straight in English. And people can't tell the difference, which way it was done. So that's actually intriguing me.
In a moment, we're going to talk about what else you've been doing as well as writing your novels, because you've been winning prizes for writing other things as well. But before that, you get to choose a song. So what's the song then, Anka? Because this is a throwback from when we first got to know each other, isn't it?
Yeah, well, when I thought of the song, my first thought was like, if you and I have to listen to something together, it just have to be salsa or bachata dance. And I choose...
The fir trees' poles all shake Shadows stir and branches break. Birds above cry out in fear. You live where none would wander near. Enchanted, dark, and overgrown. A world that stands untouched, unknown. But I will find a way, believe, to take you where we both can breathe. Your world's been cloaked 1,000 years by fog, by spells, by ancient seers. Yet still you think no place could be more fair than this deep mystery. Let no dew shine at morning's rise. Let moon and cloud trade bitter skies. I'll steal you out no matter the fight, to flutes and halls in golden light. And if the tower's not for me, we'll build our hut beneath the tree. Let the palace stand in distant gleam. I only ask to share your dream.
That was A Shatter, and I'm back with author Anka B Troitsky. And Anka has been talking about her science fiction novels, but since she's been publishing them, she has also been entering competitions and getting recognition elsewhere. So tell us about that then, Anka.
Well, partially it's your fault that why I decided to enter competitions, because when we met again after 15 years of separation, as the writers this time, not as the dancers, you mentioned some winning, and your book won something, didn't it? So I thought, like, okay, that could be a very good way to test yourself and to see if you're actually worth it. If somebody likes your stories, maybe it's a good way to encourage yourself and give yourself that extra win that needed sometimes if you get stuck or the work that goes a bit too slow. So I already won by that time a competition in Russian language, a couple of short stories competitions. But because I don't write for Russia until the war is over, I decided, here you go, I will try and put it into English language. And I did participate in some. I looked up, I found a few competitions there, here and there. And one of them was that festival, what is it called again? The Frinton Literary Festival, where I put a story I wrote that was really much sitting with me. It was a very sad story. It happened in real life. I just changed it slightly to make it into a literature, and it won. And I thought, like, oh, okay, it gave me a boost. I did finish. It gave me a boost enough to finish one of my big books. And then I thought, like, well, why not again? And I've tried again and again. And there was a couple of competitions I didn't lose. I didn't win. I lost completely. But there was a few which was collecting stories for anthologists. And it's very encouraging to see that from 100 people who participated there, they only choose 20, and you're one of them. And it's really encouraging. I would recommend to do it to anybody who is starting to write, who is testing themselves as a writer, as an author of the book, because your novel might take a time to start and finish, but you can write the story in a very short period of time. Like one of them, which also was a winner, I wrote in our club, just like we've been sitting there drinking coffee. So, yes, I have my medal. I do have my prizes. I have my anthologists now, and they are reminded that, somebody likes what I write. So why not to carry on?
When you mention the club, you're talking about our writing buddies, aren't you? Where we sit around in a cafe and write and drink coffee or juice or eat cake once a month to get people together just to write. That's the one you're talking about, if anybody's wondering.
Yes, that's the one.
Yes. Yeah. So clearly it's helping you motivate yourself.
There's a time sometimes when you can't put the head of the writer when you are just doing other things because it's just no time. Life always gets in the way. And sometimes it's important to concentrate just to get yourself a starter. And so this activity, just getting together and encourage yourself to start on something, and then it works, and then you go home and you finished a few chapters straight away. Why not? That's great. So I'm only grateful to you and to Lizzie to organizing something, and I try my best to go every time when I can.
So where can people find out more information about your writing?
Well, practically everywhere, because I'm resenting traditional publishing for my own reasons. I decided to do whatever I can as a self-publisher, and it is in practically every social media. I go by my own name. I don't change it into anything. So you can find me on the Twitter. You can find me on the X. You can find me on the Blue Sky, Facebook, even TikTok, and practically everywhere. And I do have my my author's website, where I welcome anybody who wants to follow my work to sign up for the newsletter and see what I can offer. You can have my book for free to start with, and let's see if you like it to get another one.
You're listening to West Wilts Radio.
Thank you for listening to Books and Tunes. I'll be back with another episode soon. And for our last